Hi guys, Jonathan Chown here with JChownGolf at Crondon Park Golf Club in Essex, and today what we're talking about an across the line position at the top of the backswing, and why I think most golfers out there will struggle from that across the line position in the backswing, and a little thing we can do to really help, a little drill to fix this straight away as well, which will be brilliant. So before we get into that guys, please make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment down there as well. It really helps my channel out a ton, and if you want nice easy golf instruction, really simple to the point, JChownGolf's where it's at, so click that subscribe button. So our topic today is all about across the line shaft. So that's really talking about the angle in relationship to our target line that club shaft is at the top of the backswing. This being across the line, down the line, laid off. So why for most golfers out there is across the line going to be a tough one to recover from? Now mostly this is because most golfers generally have either a normal length backswing, so I'm talking about parallel, where that club's lying parallel to the ground, or just a bit shorter. I think a lot of guys out there have a bit of a shorter backswing than most. So why that can be a problem, because when we have an across the line shaft, of course the aesthetical reason, it looks weird, but I'm not too big on changing something just for aesthetics. It has to have a function. So if I've got an across the line shaft, we know, yeah, it looks different for sure, but it's what's going to happen in the downswing and why this is really going to affect your golf negatively. Because if I've got an across the line shaft here and I start to move in the downswing, we can see how the shaft is naturally going to stand up quite straight. It's naturally going to steepen. And when we have a steep shaft in the downswing, we have to either one, compensate by stalling out our body rotation to get onto the golf ball, or if we continue to really move through with a steep shaft, we end up hitting it very, very steep, really hitting extremely down on the ball, massive divots, and normally quite out to in, which is a lot of the reasons for a lot of guys slice paths out there as well. So really out to in, slicey shots. So with that across the line shaft, with a shorter or maybe more normal length golf swing, it's all because of how it steepens the shaft in transition. Now, if you were someone out there who could really shallow it in a really short space of time, then we could see that work. Think of your Matthew Wolff from the PGA Tour. He makes that a really across the line shaft and he really shallows it out extremely fast, but I don't think many golfers can do this. If you can, don't worry about this video. But if you can't, you struggle with that extremely deep divot, you struggle with that extremely out to in path, you're across the line. Really what's going to fix that is just changing where we are at the top of the backswing, because we don't have the time to really shallow that club out from a shorter golf swing that is slightly across the line. We don't have the time to do that. Now, why we want that to be nicely down the line, or even I think for some golfers who have a shorter swing, slightly laid off, because again, this is all about getting that club to pitch behind you. That club has to do less to travel and pitch behind me, because you can imagine if I'm right across here, how much has that club got to travel to start getting behind me? It's got to do a lot in a very, very short space of time, to where if I'm just down the line or even I'm slightly laid off, I've got to do barely anything to get that club falling behind me. And then obviously once I'm more falling behind me, I'm not steep, I can just rotate my body through nicely. I don't have to make any compensations going through there, and I can really make some really nice divots, really nice strikes, and my path will straighten up straight away. So that's one big thing of fixing that across the line shaft. Now, why do most of you swing across the line? This is something I see a lot out there, and this is going to relate to our drill to fix this problem. I'll see a lot of guys out there who swing across the line, and they do one massive thing in there, and is they really separate that right elbow, their trail elbow, away from the body, that flying right elbow type of move. Now you can see, if I'm getting up to the top of the backswing, let's say my elbow is extremely tucked to my side, and as soon as I start moving that elbow outwards, you can see what happens to the club shaft. You can see already it starts to go across the line. You can see with my wrist starts cupping at the same time, because this puts a force on the club pushing this way, which will then push the club more across the line and will cut my wrist a little bit as well. So we can see why that's not a desirable move, because that could open up the club face as well, could give you a poor wrist condition here. So we can see how that move can really have a massive roll-on effect. And this is where we see as well why that shaft stays steep in the downswing as well. Because if I have my right arm extremely detached from my body, and then I don't do this really fast, get that right elbow moving in front of me in the downswing, let's say I just turn down, of course, that club is going to steepen. One of the big reasons for a steep shaft is this right elbow popping and pointing behind us. If we're there at the top of the backswing, unless we Matt Wolf it, get that right elbow in really fast, it's the only way we're going to shallow that golf club. So we've got to know now, we know that we have to keep this elbow more connected to the side if we want to get rid of that extreme across the line shaft. So how we're going to do this, one, we could really think of it just generally being pinned to our side, but usually just thinking of something isn't enough. If you watch some of my other videos before, you know I like drills. I really like drills, whether you see it from here or Instagram. I'm a big fan of drills. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a very, very simple drill that's going to target this problem and give you instant feedback straight away. So how we're going to do this, you can have anything, head cover, could be a glove, could be a towel, could even be part of your jumper or your shirt that you're wearing. So what we need to do from here, we need to get it underneath our right side. So underneath our right arm. So as I'm going up to the top of the backswing, you can see now as it forces me to keep my right arm pinned and connected to my body. If I start to disconnect it, straight away it falls. So this is a very, very big one that gives us instant feedback on what we're doing. So as soon as if I get to the top of the backswing, really make sure that is still underneath my arm, and it'll be a good one to keep it there all the way through the golf ball. So if I just clip a little one down there, all I'm trying to do is keep this in my arm. When we practice, we need good feedback to solve our problem. From across the line shaft through detaching the right arm, this is your best bet for it. So if I just hit a little one, this will be the best way to practice this first, guys, is a little shot, just keeping it in there. So you see, I only hit a little clip shot there, kept it in there the whole way. Now, what would be ideal if we do a lot of balls like this, really feeling that connection in there, making sure we're getting that feeling of really, we're not separating from there. Will be a great one to do is once you're getting up to that position, just having a look at your shaft at the top, seeing the difference, then maybe disconnecting it and having a look. So you're really putting two and two together on the reactions to these movements. So a great one, again, hit as many balls as you can to start off with doing this, even practice swings. Always the first to start with a few practice swings, making sure you feel the movement right. So if I get another one in there, I've got my head cover, my towel, my glove underneath that arm, making sure if this stays in there, I'm not across the line, so I'm not getting as steep in the downswing. So you can see there, quite nice crisp little strikes there. And once we've hit enough with our feedback orientated drill, we always want to be making sure we're getting practice swings first, feeling the exact same thing. I'm feeling like that is still underneath my arm, and that's going to get my shaft in a better position at the top. Same thing again, just still feeling like it's there, still nice and small. And you're just going to be hitting a lot better golf shots for it. So when we have an across the line shaft, if we are swinging the normal length that most golfers do, either parallel to the ground or shorter than that, it doesn't vibe, because we don't have the time to shallow the golf club in the downswing. So what we've got to do, we've got to make things a little bit more consistent with our arms, especially our right arm. Having that a little bit more connected will make it very hard for you to have an across the line shaft at the top of the backswing. So really get working on that, guys. Good little drill there to do, and you'll be really fixing this movement in no time. So it'll really be a thing of the past. There's only a couple reasons to do this problem, and this is the absolute main one I see in lessons on a daily basis. So if you like that, guys, please press that like button, press subscribe, and leave a comment down there what you think of the video as well. Helps my channel out a ton. And again, if you want nice, easy golf instruction, good 3 to 4 videos a week, really simplified, but quite sometimes complicated topics, but made easy. JChownGolf is where you want to be. So make sure you click that subscribe button. So guys, really practice on this. Keep that right arm closer to you, and you'll be really fixing that across the line shaft at the top of the backswing.